welcome to episode 27 of the Jurassic World podcast. It seems like every time we do this, I have to say it's been so long since we've done the last episode. But yeah, episode 27. I'm joined with Chris, Asees, and Ryan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys, how are you?
Fantastic.
Just okay.
Asees is
fucking tired.
Asees,
yeah, he still needs to wake up.
I've been up for 13 minutes.
It's only 1 p.m. his time, so he needs to wake up.
So you do set your alarm, right, for podcast
Shots fired, man.
Me and Chris rang him before and left a voice message on his phone, which should be, you'll enjoy that, Asees. Maybe later when you've woken up you can listen
I'm
to
too
it.
scared to check it out. I'm not going to check
it.
it. I'm too scared. It's not happening.
It's not as brutal as we'd usually leave, to be fair. We were pretty polite.
So still pretty bad.
It's still pretty bad. As always, check out Famous IDs. Use coupon code JWORG. This is, God, we've had this for ages now. The guy at Famous IDs is great, but you can get your own Jurassic Park or Jurassic World ID cards there, and you get 20% discount using JWORG. Also, check out our sponsors, JurassicFangear.com, for some pretty awesome fan gear with loads more to come. Yeah, it's been ages.
And nothing has happened.
And nothing has
happened. In terms
happened.
of Jurassic World,
Actually, yeah.
nothing's happened. Well,
Nothing has
one
happened
thing,
in
kind
the
of.
sense of like big movie news, but plenty of little things have happened.
Yeah, but let's be real here. So Jurassic World came out, last year now, almost 6 months ago. Yeah, should we say? It's almost 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are people still talking about it? No.
Awards.
No
yeah.
one's talking about Jurassic World anymore.
Awards. That's
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, have you seen anything anywhere? Have you seen any products anywhere? No.
No. I mean, when it comes to like the sustain program for Jurassic World,
There isn't one.
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't exist. Did they plan anything that just like it fell through, or did they just kind of get caught with their pants down and go, well, fuck, what do we do now?
The thing is, it's mental, because even if they had plans, which I'm pretty sure they must have, right? They must have had plans until the next movie. The thing is, this movie, broke records and nobody expected it to make this much money. You'd think they'd be on top of all these plans and thinking, right, all right, let's keep people entertained,
And here's the deal. There are a lot of things they could have done that a lot of other smaller movies even do, that the fan base would have absolutely ate up, and it would have been something to kind of help satisfy fans, and it could help get some really cool product out there on the shelves.
And to help grow the fandom. It's so small still. The fandom is so small. Someone said that the other day. Ryan, was it you? Someone said there's no... It's still small. There's no...
The online social aspect of it, like as like a collaborative fandom, it is pretty tiny. I mean, you'll catch a lot of fans. There's a lot of casual fans on like Twitter especially. But as a whole collaborative kind of communicating fandom, yeah, it's small.
Yeah, I mean, you've got JP Legacy, which the forum is really active there, and you've got a couple of other fan sites, and obviously JP Toys is always pretty busy, but it seems to me as busy as it was in 2003. You know
what? I think it was busier back then. You get a lot of alerts now. Like, you'll see a lot of people sign in, like on JP Toys, but not so much activity.
There's nothing to talk about. I mean,
that's like, where the hell's like the art book, The Art of Jurassic World?
Yeah, I mean, we know Colin did so much work extensively behind the scenes on this film. Obviously, as director, but he did so much detail. Like signs that we'd never even see in the movie were written and perfected. Like, do you remember that Indominus Rex paddock sign that the art department must have put together? Which was, and we never saw it in the movie. It didn't even it wasn't even in the background, and we posted that on our site. Stuff like that. So there is so much from this film that we could have seen that could have been released in a book. Like you've always been on about a concept art book, and Chris and
we could have seen the different designs the Indominus went through. We could have just seen the concept art for all the scenes. I mean, The Force Awakens has an amazing art of book, an amazing
one of the best.
It talks about like all the different design iterations it went through, but it talks about the earlier story ideas. It talks about how like they just kind of kicked around many different ideas, and they kind of show you the visual design process it went through, and narrate it with what was driving that visual design process at the time. A lot of things changed, and they weren't afraid to show that. And even smaller movies like Chappie. Hell, I can't. A lot of those other movies, they have art of books. Prometheus had one.
Fucking Godzilla had one.
Exactly. Now, it's not like it wouldn't have sold. Even if Jurassic World wasn't a huge explosive success the way it was, it still would have, the art of book still would have done fine. It's just weird. There's nothing like that. I mean, there's more, basically the only thing they have going on is like coloring books. And the weirdest thing about the coloring books is it's just the same renders that's used on the website, just like placed on different backgrounds. Like they're not even like custom made coloring books. Like all of the different
it's cheap.
All of the different places have the same art because it's just based off the same basic renders. There's nothing created for it.
I think it seems to me like fair enough. It's it's a family movie. It's a child's movie. It's
a family movie. I don't think it's the same thing as a child's movie.
No, but see all the marketing and everything that came out for it, and all these coloring books and stuff. It's for the child. It's for that young teenager market. But they seem to have neglected people like us. The fans and the people that are older than 15.
I know.
And want like an art book. Well, what is there then? A Blu-ray with limited special features? What actually is there like for us?
When you say 15, I disagree. I think they only targeted preschoolers.
Yeah, I mean they're fair.
I mean, if they targeted the young adult crowd, that would be awesome. If they targeted young adults, because that would probably bleed over into things that we'd be interested in, like decent toys, decent art books, even comics or novels. As long as they weren't like junior novelizations, I think that would be fine. I think that would be interesting.
It's weird. Ryan, you had a point that you said the other day about Jurassic World. You rewatched it.
Yeah. It's been a few months since I've seen it.
Go for gold, man.
Oh boy. I love it. So, no, I can't. It's so hard. I mean, I want to love it. No, it's been a few months since I've seen it. I think with everybody else, I got Jurassic World overload and just decided to step away from it. But I was bored the other day and looking for something to watch, and it was kind of actually sitting right there, and so I popped it in, and I was halfway paying attention the whole time. Probably, I mean, because I've seen it so much, but I mean, it was the first time that I actually felt completely disjointed from the original franchise while watching it. It was the first time I thought that it was a completely different movie that borrowed Jurassic Park ideas, not a Jurassic Park movie that tried to capture nostalgia. And even though it does in some regard, it just felt so new, so different. That pink cloud effect has worn off, and I don't know. I think I see it for its true colors. But those true colors, mind you, are still really good in a lot of aspects. It's just, same old story. Not the movie I wanted it to be.
To be fair, I think it's the exact movie it aimed to be. I think that where it's different and new, I think it actually absolutely aimed to be that. The question is, were all of the calls great calls? I mean, that's really based on personal opinion. I don't think that there's anything in Jurassic World that's poorly done, but a lot of the things that I'm kind of torn on are things that I would have preferred to be done differently. Mm-hmm. But nothing I feel is done awfully. I mean, I do enjoy the movie. I think it tries to do too much in too short of an amount of time, and because of that, it falls short. I mean,
that was our issue from the beginning. It was the first thing I thought when I came out. My first screening, I was like, that was too quick. There's no pacing. There was no time to breathe in the movie. No tension.
Yeah.
The tension. There was I think the one scene that had tension, and it was way too short, but it was really cool. Was when Owen's hiding underneath the vehicle and the Indominus is sniffing him. Really, really cool.
And to an extent, the original Jeep when Chris Pratt's with Bryce.
Yes.
I mean, there's a little bit of tension there, but it's so quick, the scene.
Absolutely.
So unbelievably quick. And you could have got so much tension in the scene. We've always said this with the kids when they go in the original visitor center.
Yeah, they have these really cool sets and locations, and they don't use them.
They just glossed over them. I mean, we're probably never going to see them again.
I love that they built the park. They actually built the set for the park. The problem is, you never spend any real time on Main Street to really see what the buildings are or what's inside of them. And I feel like they could have probably actually just filmed in a pre-existing location, like a city walk or like a boardwalk of like a theme park or something along those lines and just redecorated it for the time that they filmed, and it wouldn't have made any difference. I would have probably rather seen that budget that they spent on the park go to animatronic dinosaurs or something different. Because if we would have spent time in the park, like actual real time inside of Main Street, had some sequences where we got to go inside of the visitor center, or well, we do go there. I mean, like the gift shop and the different shops around there. Spend some time with dinosaur action there as well. I would justify it, but considering how it's mainly distance shots and you can't really see anything, you know,
I could have CG'd it.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder how that could have been spent. That money could have been spent other places.
You know,
maybe
I was
even
thinking,
just in the CG budget, maybe the movie would have looked a little better. Because let's be real, I think one of Jurassic World's biggest flaws is Jurassic Park's been known for pushing visual effects beyond the boundaries and creating really, really nice, realistic, lifelike animals. And while Jurassic World does have some scenes that do that, or some dinosaurs that do that, other scenes are just okay.
Yeah, for the most part, it's incredibly obvious that it's CGI.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue, is it's so obvious as CG. And, I mean, obviously some, like, an Indominus Rex running at you, it's gotta be CG. Sometimes it looks really great. Most of the time the Indominus Rex looks great. I think the only time it doesn't look great is when it's in the aviary.
yeah.
I had an email from a guy called Tom who said he wanted to ask us on the podcast what scenes in Jurassic World annoyed us. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've already discussed what scenes annoyed us. But he also said, you know, what could have been improved? How could you have improved it? And his suggestion was, or the one thing that bothered him was the "it can camouflage" line. He thinks it should have just been "there it is" or something like that, because I think a lot of people laughed at that.
I love that part.
I personally like that line, but I think his point is that a more realistic reaction would have been, "Oh my fucking god, there it is, run!" kind of.
You
thing.
can't say it in a kids' movie, though, can you?
Well, yeah.
Well,
I don't think.
I mean, Hamada's the leader. I mean, I'm assuming, you know, the leader of the group, so I think it's only natural for him to just, oh shit, everybody, you know, and
I think that was like, you know, his training kicking in. He received new information and he informed his team.
Because he was in detective mode.
That
fair,
new information was it can camouflage.
Yeah.
So he figured. I mean, he tried to get out of there, but he probably figured he was going to die, and he better get the vital information out there.
What happened to his scenes as well? His dialogue.
I don't think he had any, man.
Yeah,
I really
do you
don't
remember
think
that
he had
script
any.
page?
Yeah, he
The
did have
audition
a
page. He had
Wasn't that old?
that line where they were looking in the Indominus Rex paddock.
Yeah,
and they were talking about when he had a, what was it? When he saw
he had like a snake, and he
Yeah.
talked about how he would always feed it dead rats. And then one time he fed it like a living rat, and like the snake would then always like bite and lash out after that. And he's like, basically, you don't want to feed that animal anything that moves and bleeds. And it was a really, really cool monologue.
Yeah.
Really fucking cool monologue.
like
But
it was very
doesn't fit
Jurassic.
anywhere in the
Like
movie,
it was perfect Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very clear that it was from an earlier script, because there's
Do you
not
think
really
that was?
scene-
Sorry, but do you think that was from a Collins script, or do you think?
I think that was probably from his 2014 script.
his 2014 script.
Yeah.
Why do you reckon it got cut?
But it was very dark and brooding, and I liked it because the movie needed. I mean, the movie, I really enjoyed its lighthearted scenes, especially in the park. But it kind of needed to contrast it with more dark and brooding, and like kind of, these are animals that you can't control, and kind of get into the science and the grittiness of it all. And
yeah, definitely.
It kind of stayed in kind of that shallow, I wouldn't necessarily say adventure, more just kind of like action area.
Well, before we pull on Jurassic World,
that
too
actually
much.
reminds me, real quick, actually, while we're on that subject of the Indominus, Asees, you said something about a kids movie, and it sparked my memory. Did you see Colin's tweet about how they had to tone down the damage on the Indominus Rex?
Oh yeah. That would have been sick.
You know, that's really interesting to me. I guess that normally you're able to get away with things like that, when especially when it's a dinosaur movie. But it looks like they're kind of doubling down on not letting you get away with blood and everything. Like what was that scene when the dude was unleashing on the Indominus with the shotgun right before he gets gobbled up. Originally, you're able to see each shotgun shot hitting the Indominus and causing
which I wish
wounds.
they would have shown, because you can barely see it. You can see it, but you can barely see it.
You can see it? We talking
in the
about?
new Blu-ray, and that's the only time I noticed it because it looks better. You can see little puffs kind of hit the Indominus in the face.
Yeah, it looks like
there's-
smoke puffs, though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but it's not blood or anything. So I love that you can have dino damage on a toy that shows its entire rib cage showing, but you can't show it getting shot in the face in the movie.
yeah, especially because it doesn't die from it. And I guess that explains to us where that one storyboard went, where the gyrosphere rolls through not the Indominus, the Ankylosaur's dead bloody body and gets covered in blood before the Indominus attacks it. I guess we can see why that never happened then, because I guess that just would have been terrifying. But I guess that wouldn't fly in a PG-13 movie anymore.
But it would. I don't know. Yeah, not for.
See Colin's tweet about how they ripped Eddie in half in Lost World. Isn't it a shame that they can't do that anymore in a PG-13 movie?
You know what's weird is they also King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong. A guy gets his head bitten off by Kong.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, Phantom Menace, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, Darth Maul gets chopped in half.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of other movies. I sort of wonder if it depends on the name and
Episode 3,
director
man.
of them.
Look at episode 3. Anakin kills like a room full of kids.
Well, you don't see
That's
it.
kind of rough, isn't it?
It's implied.
Oh, it's heavily implied, my friends. Heavily
Well,
implied.
yeah, I mean, it happened, but you don't see it happen. I guess what would probably be a better example is episode 3, Anakin burning alive.
Oh, yeah, that's better. It's a good scene. Very beautiful. Very loving.
Or recent PG-13 movies that sort of push the boundaries. Can anyone think of anything?
No, but it's amazing to see how different it is, because Jurassic Park is a scary movie. It scared me when I was a kid. Lost World's even darker and scarier, and obviously not now, but when you're a child, they are scary. They're scary movies. But
Especially when you care about the characters, and the first time when you don't know who lives or dies, there's tension.
yeah, and then obviously Jurassic World didn't really have that. No, we've said this before. No one was ever in danger at any point. It didn't feel. But before we drag too much on Jurassic World, let's talk about Jurassic World 2. Let's talk about the sequel, or Jurassic World Park 5, which however you want to,
The sequel to Jurassic World.
The sequel to Jurassic World, yeah. So the latest news really is that the director of The Orphanage and The Impossible was in the running to direct it, and that scared Paramount, so they kicked World War Z 2 into gear, the script,
Because
he was attached, wasn't he? But he was drippy. He was leaving, and then he's left.
Yeah, I guess
As
what
of a
happened
few days
was he basically they were fast tracking that movie, and he's like, "Well, look, I'll make this movie for you, but we can't fast track it like this. We need to spend our time." So it sounds like they're like, you know what, whatever, bye. Which then frees them up for Jurassic World, because we know that that's who they were circling for Jurassic World. I think it was Deadline that reported that a little while back, and now Deadline reported that he dropped out of World War Z 2.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty interesting news.
Have you guys seen his movies?
I've seen The Orphanage and I've seen The Impossible. But I was sent to Ryan yesterday. The Orphanage I haven't seen in a very long time. I kind of need to. I need to check it out again.
Isn't it Spanish?
Yeah,
I haven't seen either one of those, so I really do need to see those.
Chris, watch them both, man. The Impossible, as I was saying to Ryan yesterday, it's a great movie. I personally don't like it, but it's a good movie. Like, I know exactly why it's good and
Suspenseful.
that kind of thing. Yeah, it deals with characters incredibly well, and it's a fantastic disaster.
It's emotional as fuck.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, like I said, I didn't like it myself, but it's a good movie. It's one of those.
Okay.
So, I think he would be a fantastic choice. The Orphanage, from what I remember, is terrifying. It's really scary and tension, and it's got this really good, feel to it. It just feels like a horror.
How is he with characters?
Fantastic.
Like in The Impossible,
excellent.
like I said,
Yeah.
I mean, the characters are really well thought out, and all their motives seem real. I mean, I know a lot of that does come down to script, but yeah,
The Impossible.
he's good from what I can work out. I think he would be a good choice. He's not too big. He hasn't done too much. That he's going to be creative. He's going to really follow this path that he wants to see. If he gets
Assuming
searching for it.
Universal lets him.
Yeah, assuming
Right.
they do, but I think they will. I think.
Well, yeah,
Look at how they did with Colin.
Exactly. Colin really did create a movie, a style of his own for Jurassic World.
Yeah, but he followed plot points that we've known have been there for like years and years. It's not really his own story, technically, isn't it?
No, but I mean, they did let Colin. I mean, I think we know that they had three things, right? They had to have a hybrid, they had to have a new park, and they had to have raptors being trained.
Yep.
But aside from that, everything else was Colin.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of it existed beforehand. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the mosasaur existed. Possibly, I don't know. I mean, we know that there was a mosasaur in the John Sayles script, so there's probably a chance that Spielberg's like, "Hey, we should visit marine reptiles," and he's like, "Okay, yeah, that works. That's pretty cool."
Yeah, I mean,
And then-
we know he came up with a lot on the side and was talking with Spielberg for a long time.
Yeah,
So I mean, yeah. So hopefully they give this same freedom to J.A.
Well, I'll tell you what, I really think that they are, because we first heard Colin said, "Hey, we're looking at a Spanish-speaking horror film director." And
That's
he said that
definitely him.
He said that in June, the same month that Jurassic World came out. So if you want anything, I mean, they're trying to do this right. They're trying to bring in the talent early, and they're trying to have them basically influence the sequel. So while Colin and Derek are writing it, I guarantee you that the director is absolutely tentatively locked in and collaborating with the story ideas.
And
so.
I mean, I'm open to hearing. I want to hear a list of names. You know, I want Deadline to post a list of names in the runnings. But I mean, it does seem like this guy is just it. You know,
I think Deadline kind of posted that article with a big, heavy-handed wink, wink. I think that was their way. I mean, because these guys have sources. A lot of times, the sources are the studios themselves. Like, the studios put out the information because they know it's a good way to get positive news out there. And I think that was basically their way of saying, well, it's pretty much him as the director for Jurassic World 2, but it's not locked in, so we can't say it officially, but there you have it. It could fall through, but there you have it.
I'm gonna be so pissed off if we don't get him at this point, because he's my number one choice. I want him.
is he really?
Bad.
Nice.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
What about David Robert Mitchell?
Oh man, okay,
Almost.
No.
okay. It Follows
No.
is possibly.
Oh, it's lagging out.
Oh, I mean, it's in my top 10. I saw it
Really?
last year.
Of all
I saw
time?
it again recently. Absolutely love
Holy
that movie.
shit. Okay, cool. Cool.
But he's only done It Follows and one other film, The Myth of the American Sleepover, which is a comedy, I think. Yeah, comedy. I don't know if he'd be a good choice because It Follows was so unique in its style. It doesn't follow any other movies. You know, it's strange. Have you guys seen it?
Oh yeah.
I saw it, but I was with friends and drinking pretty heavily.
Okay, all right.
It's a good movie, though.
Ryan, what did you think?
Fantastic. I'm hit or miss with horror movies, and 95% of the time I'm not satisfied. That one
Okay.
that one definitely I thought was super suspenseful. And I mean, it was really low budget too, and you didn't need any of the special effects, and all you needed was like that eerie sense of something is coming after you.
Which they did perfectly.
Which, yeah, I mean, it scared the shit out of me. And
Dude, it's a terrifying movie, especially the bit with the really tool guy through
Yeah.
the doorway. That's freaky.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
And
I like that movie. I just don't remember anything
The
from
bit
it.
on the beach. You should rewatch it.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd be right, though. He's only done like one
No.
other movie.
See,
I want
this
like a
is- this is what
veteran
I'm saying.
director, you know?
I think it's,
I don't want a veteran director. I just want somebody that knows what they're doing.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
he'd
Well,
be
okay.
good on the list of potential directors, but I don't think it should be him. As much as I loved It Follows, I don't think it would fit. I think J.A. is a better choice there. in
what did
that
people
regard.
say? Who do they say on Twitter?
Okay, well, basically, I don't know if you guys go on Reddit at all. There's a Jurassic Park subreddit, which is pretty good community there. I asked the guys on there who they like to see, and what's their ideal plot synopsis. So someone commented, "All I want is John Williams to do the music." So,
Yeah, that would be awesome. What? Hey, you know what? Real quick, as an aside, we should make sure we talk about that John Williams.
Oh yeah, that's
Jurassic
on the
Park.
list. That's on the list, man.
Okay.
Yeah, so someone just said that. So someone said instead of a sequel, why not try a prequel? Why not show the events of between Jurassic Park and Jurassic World show how after the original incident, InGen or whoever went back to Isla Nublar. So they wanted to see all that. There's quite a detailed post there.
Netflix.
I want to see that, but that's not.
Thank
That was
you,
a movie,
Netflix.
man.
Yeah,
Now,
TV show or fan film or something. That's not. They won't go there.
Out of all honesty, I think that they should do a Netflix TV series.
Yep.
If you've watched Daredevil, Jessica Jones, House of Cards, all those shows are really, really well done. I think that maybe 8-episode miniseries, even if it was sort of anthology based, where you follow a different character in a different timeline each episode, where you can cover the 10 years fairly well. Honestly, I would focus on the new park, different staff members, different people.
That sounds too expensive, my friend.
Oh, they won't do it. It's not going to happen.
It wouldn't be as expensive as you'd think if they wrote around the budget. It could look a lot higher budget because they probably have a lot of stock footage plus CG models built for Jurassic World already.
Yeah.
So they could probably find a way to film that movie.
Yeah, it would end up being like Terra Nova, though.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you look at or if you give it a Game of Thrones budget.
Oh yeah, I mean, we all want to see that. It won't happen.
No.
I'd love a Jurassic Park TV series, a mini series, or something to tie everything together, something to keep us going until Jurassic World 2. It's not going to happen.
I think it's more realistic than a cartoon in today's market.
Yeah, I mean, no one's thinking of a cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, in another way to tell those stories would possibly be books or comic books.
Mm.
I would if they put out a novel like Star Wars has canonical novels coming out that tie the story together and tell new stories in the universe. I would eat something like that up in the Jurassic Park universe in a heartbeat, especially if the author really respected Michael Crichton's style, yet drew their story and inspiration from the films.
It would be amazing, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
most people have
authors out there that would be willing to do that if Universal said, "Hey, what story do you want to tell in the Jurassic Park universe?"
Yeah, but are Universal gonna?
I think that they want to do these things.
Do they?
I just don't think they know how to.
That's such bullshit, Chris. That's such bullshit, because they know how to run the Fast and Furious franchise. Fuck, they're making spin-offs now. They definitely know what they're doing. They just don't want to for whatever reason.
Fast and Furious, doing films is a lot easier than doing brand support. Fast and Furious doesn't have to do all these different toys, comics.
Yes, they do. And they do all that.
Matt, you're giving Universal too much credit, my friend.
I'm not. I'm saying they don't know how to do this stuff. I mean, out of all honesty, I think that their intentions are there. I just don't think that they have the experience to having a brand that's sort of like a universe.
Well, they still have Legendary too. Remember that, and they know how to do their shit, but still nothing. So I don't know.
Legendary and Universal seem to be working together less and less now. It seems like Legendary is kind of working with WB again.
Well, and Legendary was just bought out.
Yeah, it was just bought out, but also Legendary took Kong away from Universal into WB, so that they can do Kong versus Godzilla.
Interesting. Well, that's life.
So a lot of people have said they want Spielberg back. That's never going to happen.
Not going to happen.
I don't want Spielberg back, man.
Someone's comment. This was a pretty good one. It's 2018. InGen is on the meltdown once again after the events of Jurassic World. Public report given by InGen was that a dinosaur, not specified as a hybrid, escaped due to technical failures in its enclosure which caused havoc. Nublar has been abandoned. With Masrani dead, the company is on the verge of being sold off. One of the potential and very interested buyers, of course, Bison. Bison know about some of the ideas InGen was trying out and wants to continue the work using dinosaurs for warfare. Brackets, they are unaware of the catastrophic failure of InGen's program. All they know is that the hybrid dinosaur escaped. Claire, knowing potential dangers of this deal, is totally opposed to the takeover. Meanwhile, reports of dinosaur sightings on the coast of Central America are being investigated by Owen. Now, to be fair, that sounds like,
That sounds like Jurassic Park 4.
Yeah, but that sounds like the direction it's going to head in.
No.
In some respect.
I hope not.
Oh, I hope not as well. I don't want to see... I don't want to see Claire and Owen again.
I don't want them at all, get them out of there.
That sounds like something happening. Claire trying to stop this and that, trying to protect the company, trying to protect the island, the dinosaurs maybe, and Owen in the brute of it, trying to stop the actual dinosaurs that have escaped.
We need an original cast member to come back.
100%.
They're not going to do it.
At least
Colin
one.
won't do it, man.
At least one.
It's not going to happen. I wish. I would shit my pants.
To me, that sounds like somewhere they would take it.
Goldblum would come back.
Like, I couldn't see Grant coming back after JP3, but Malcolm, I could see him coming back. He's got that cocky, told you so. He knows what a bug zapper is, but he still can't help but walking towards that light just to tell the other bugs it's a bad idea. But he's got to be there when all of them get zapped anyways.
Can I just mention that, like, because this has been bothering me and something that I've been thinking about actually just for the past 15 minutes. But I really hope Jurassic World 2, I think, and relating back to the question that we were asked earlier about Jurassic World and what could have been improved, there wasn't so much that I didn't like or that I didn't not like, but just that I wish that it had and maybe had more of. And intimacy. If you look at the first Jurassic Park, and I mean, this has to, in every single one of these examples, has to deal with practical effects. So I mean, we'll see how that works in the future. But how many times did we have moments where we weren't in danger from a dinosaur, but we were in awe by it? By in the beginning, simply holding a baby velociraptor to then cradling and somewhat laying / humping a triceratops, and then later on, touching the brachiosaur. And we only got that once in Jurassic World with the Apatosaurus dying. Which
you're
was
not wrong, man.
Probably my favorite part. And it was because that scene captured Jurassic Park in that alone. And it wasn't because of the practical effect. It was because it was intimate, and it felt real. And you felt emotion towards that dinosaur, and that was the only real dinosaur that I felt emotion towards. So, anyway, I just wanted to get off my chest.
No, I think you may. I've not thought of that before, but that's an incredible point. That, there was no intimacy in Jurassic World, really. I mean, you had like you said, you had the lovely scene with the Apatosaur. I mean, I think most people agree that's an incredible scene. That's a touching scene, and that's where Claire, for the first time in the movie, shows emotion. Which
Huge
is great.
transition. Huge.
So there's one more comment here which says, director, they want to bring back Spielberg one last time, or snag J.A. before somebody else does. And then plot synopsis is very similar to the one I read out before. We find out Bison had employed Henry Wu and Vic Hostins as double agents sometime before the events of Jurassic World and forced them to try and make weaponized hybrids, blah, 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 blah. Basically what we saw, they forced him to do it. It was all Bison's plan, which would, in the end up bankrupting InGen and Masrani in the process, allowing Bison to swoop in and buy the remaining assets. So people really want to see Bison. They also so it says, we fast forward a couple of years and Bison is running their own secret facility somewhere in Africa in an attempt to weaponize the animals more for financial gain for the military. However, nobody wants weaponized dinosaurs in the world, brackets, or the fandom. So an inside person at Bison decides to throw together a task force to destroy all of the research at said facility and somehow get these animals back to a safe zone, now that Isla Sorna is a preserve for these animals.
That sounds like terrorism.
This is how Pratt's character could get thrown into the mix, as the task force is enabled from people who have already dealt with dinosaurs and know how to survive against them. I mean, Africa is a really good setting, Chris. We've talked about planes before and stuff, and I think do you remember the whole Dark Continent poster before Jurassic World? And there was like do you remember the do you remember that Jurassic
Isn't
World?
that what didn't Brysonator or what
yeah, he did.
Didn't he adopt that name?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did, sir.
Doing a good job
Dark
too.
Continent.
Yeah.
Do you remember the poster that was released years ago, back when the site was
there ever a story for that, or was it just the poster?
I think there was. I had a script for it.
It was such a good poster.
The guy owned up and was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I just wanted to build some hype. Here's the poster and here's the script." And I was like, "Oh shit, cool."
Pure garbage. If you're listening, you're a piece of shit.
No, I said to him, "Look, fair enough, man. It's been dead." That was years ago, though. That was long.
That was a long, yeah. And who knew that it would be even years until we got anything beyond that?
Yeah, I remember years before Jurassic World was even a thing, before Colin was in the mix, waking up to Joe Johnston's in like 2009 saying, "Yeah, there's going to be a new trilogy and all this," and I'm like, "Oh,
yeah.
Sweet, yeah." Going to school, like, finally. Didn't happen for like 5 years after that. So on Twitter, most people said Steven Spielberg. Justin, JurassicRaptor.com. If not Colin Trevorrow, I think Ryan Johnson would be a good fit for a JP movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's doing he's
but I don't
doing
wanna see
Star Wars
that.
Episode 8.
I think he'd be a good fit, but I don't want to see that.
Gareth Edwards. What do you guys think about
Real
that?
Tours. Go on. What'd you say?
Gareth Edwards.
He said Gareth.
There's a few for Gareth.
He
Gareth
already made a
Edwards.
Jurassic World movie. It's called Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a Jurassic
And monsters.
Park. It had so many. I think it would be okay. Godzilla wasn't perfect though.
No, it wasn't.
Still solid as fuck, though. I love it.
I think I like the idea of someone like J.A. Biona because they are a little bit smaller. You know, they're a little bit less. The movies were less budget, kind of thing. I think they've been far. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Did you guys see Monsters by Gareth?
Yeah, I like Monsters. Yeah,
That was
liked
not
it.
a good movie.
You didn't like
It
it?
wasn't.
good. It was fun.
Hey, why don't I throw out the rest of the names on my little short list that I had?
No, Chris, I've got them up in tabs. I've got their IMDb's up. Let me just go through these tweets quick. So, Real Tools said Baz Luhrmann.
Who?
I think he was making a joke.
He was making a joke because it was the whole dancing thing with Colin. Dan said M. Night Shyamalan has worked sci-fi, big budget, A-list, especially with Bryce.
Nope.
Would do. I agree with that. Do it. Might as well.
What?
I mean, have you guys seen The Visit?
Yeah, it's
His
pretty
new
good.
one? It's
Oh,
pretty
is that
good,
his
right?
new movie? I need to see that.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's a found footage, and
It's
no
not
one
shit.
likes found footage anymore. But it's such a. I mean, it's like you don't question the found footage; it makes sense. Like
Side note, Cloverfield sequel.
Oh,
Mysterious Cloverfield sequel.
I don't get the hype. I don't understand.
no.
this.
But have you heard the latest, Chris? It turns out it's not. Oh my god! Have you? I don't know if
It
you've
is.
seen
It
any
is a
of this.
Cloverfield film. It's just it's
No,
not
no,
going to be a
it's not.
Cloverfield film in the traditional sense.
No. Basically, what happened was this movie was already shot, and then apparently Paramount jumped on, shut the company down that made it, which was the same company that made The Devil Inside. You know, movies under $5 million to make high profit, kind of doing the Jason Blum thing. They made this movie, they shot it, everything. Then Paramount jumped on, decided to rewrite some of it and reshoot it after it was complete. It was called The Cellar. I have the script sitting in front of me right now. And it's got nothing to do with Cloverfield. They decided to rewrite it so they could market it as Cloverfield, and depending on what their rewrite's done, we don't see outside The Cellar.
Well,
So it's not going to be a Cloverfield movie, and
that's
this is a
actually
cheap ploy, a
What?
marketing ploy.
What I'm hearing is that's actually false. What happened was it did start out as a movie that had nothing to do with Cloverfield, but they did decide it was going to be Cloverfield before they shot.
Yeah, see,
And it was kept
there's two
secret,
reports.
and it was kept secret from the majority of the cast and crew that it was a Cloverfield film. And only very key people knew exactly what it was. Now, it's going to be a smaller movie. You're not going to leave the cellar very often or until the very end. However, it was planned to be a Cloverfield film, but a lower budget Cloverfield film, and they worked very hard to keep that a secret, which is why the earlier script is what they said they were filming. So basically, they filmed something different than what they said they filmed.
I mean,
most,
I hope
and most
it's that.
people didn't know any better.
I hope
And
it's that. But
I
I'm-
also
I'm
heard
not-
the budget.
I'm
might
not sure
be
it is
higher
that,
than
Chris.
$5 million.
I'm not sure it is that. I think this is a cheap marketing ploy by Paramount to sell the movie for under $5 million, and now that was made for under $5 million. Now they're going to sell it in IMAX. Everyone's going to go see it because it's Cloverfield, man. That excitement when I first saw that news.
Do you guys
the
really love
Cloverfield
Cloverfield
sequel.
that much?
No,
Yeah.
but it was the hype that went with it.
Well,
that was
I
the
really
exciting
enjoyed it.
thing.
For one thing, Cloverfield might be my favorite monster movie.
Oh,
What?
no.
That's
Wow.
blasphemy,
Far
my friend.
from it, man.
Yeah,
Far from it.
might be my favorite monster movie. I think
God, it wasn't that
it's-
good. Jesus.
It's, I don't know. I like it more than
the
I like
hype
it more than
was way better than the movie.
I don't know. Okay, what American monster movie, like kaiju, what American kaiju movie's better?
Godzilla.
No.
Yep.
With Matthew Broderick, yes.
Yeah, that's the best movie ever made.
1998.
Number one, 10 out of 10.
No, I mean, really, can you think of an American kaiju movie that's, I mean...
I still stand by Godzilla, the new one.
Yeah,
Jack.
Godzilla probably. I mean, I'm not really.
US...
I mean, this is going to sound stupid coming from a guy's favorite movie is Jurassic Park, but I'm not really a monster movie kind of guy.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't watch
I'm
them.
totally
I
there
don't.
with you.
Godzilla was fun. Wasn't perfect. Killed off Bryan Cranston far too early. Shouldn't have died. Shouldn't have died in that movie.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But
Anyways,
let me just make that last
back to
point
the
about
directors.
10 Cloverfield Lane, right? So they're falsely advertising this movie, and if it was sold as The Cellar, this movie with John Goodman set in this bunker, the whole movie cabin fever type deal, I reckon it would be amazing. It looks fantastic. The fact that they're selling it as Cloverfield is going to ruin it. Everyone's going to go see it. They're going to make a shitload of money, and everyone's going to be pissed off because you'll realize that it's not a Cloverfield movie. It will end with her opening the hatch and seeing the New York skyline destroyed. That's all you're going to see.
And now what I've heard is basically JJ read the script, liked it, and said, what if we make some changes and actually set this in the universe of Cloverfield? So it's going to have a lot of the same elements of that movie, and most of
but
the
if we don't see the
same.
monster in a Cloverfield sequel, no one's going to be happy. You
But
know what I
the
mean?
monster die though?
No, it didn't die. Apparently.
Yeah, I mean,
This is what I mean. If you're doing a Cloverfield sequel, this incredible, spectacle of a movie where this massive monster destroys a city, and then the sequel doesn't show any of that, no one's going to be happy. It's just because that has to happen. You know what I mean? You have to have something like the original. Whereas if this is just a movie set in a bunker with 3 people, and then she opens the doors and you see what the monster's done, and it ends, that's going to be shit, right?
No.
People are going to be pissed off.
I just can't see it going. I mean, I believe you, but
I can't see them marketing that.
I feel like there'd be a petition to sue Paramount or something, like, if that was the case.
The backlash would really affect their future movies, and if they ever tried to do anything else in the Cloverfield name, people wouldn't go see it just because of... I just don't think that they're going to take it that way.
Well, I really hope not.
What are they
I like Cloverfield, and the hype for this one has got me incredibly excited.
I totally believe it's going to be a smaller movie. Most of it's going to be in the cellar. I totally believe that, but I don't know.
In 2 months,
we'll see what happens,
man.
I'm going to read the script for the cellar, and I'm going to see, what changes seem obvious that they would make, and we'll go from there, man. I mean, we'll hold it to this, yeah. When it's released in March, we'll see who was right.
So soon.
Yeah, so soon. That's what's so exciting about it. It's like they've secretly filmed the Cloverfield sequel, and here's the trailer. It's overload. It was
next
so
week.
Exciting. Yeah.
Like, what? Whoa, what?
Yeah, and my favorite part is nobody even, the way that you found out was by people. They didn't even drop the trailer online. People went into the movies and saw this trailer, and they're like, I just saw a trailer for a Cloverfield movie, and people,
this
what?
This is what happened with the first one, and that's what was so exciting, because it was the mystery, and it's classic J.J. Abrams, open the black box kind of thing, the mystery box. I'm excited. So Gareth Edwards, I'm just going through these tweets. I think a lot of people are going with J.A. Bayona. J.A.'s The Impossible makes me think he has the chops. Gareth Edwards. So we've got here, I don't know how to say this, Andre Ovredel, who did Trollhunter.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's a very bold choice.
Trollhunter wasn't a good movie, in my opinion. But
what else? Has he done anything else?
I don't believe so. I think that was a movie that got picked up after it was made, right? It was a low budget.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm just going on his profile now. No, he's literally just done Trollhunter. He did Future Murder, which never heard of, and he's got loads in production, but nothing's out yet. J.C. Chandler, Margin Call, All Is Lost, Most Violent Year.
Okay.
Can you do action?
I don't know. He says handles people and tension well, which has been missing since JP1. I don't agree with that. I think Lost World and JP3...
Lost World definitely had people and tension. Jurassic Park 3 had the aviary.
Best scene in the franchise.
Had some tension. Someone said Michael Bay, and then they tweeted back saying, just a joke. Kurt Sutter. I have no idea who Kurt Sutter is. Kurt Sutter, Sons of Anarchy.
Meh.
Well, that's
a weird
an
choice.
interesting choice.
He's just directed TV, yeah. No?
No thanks, not yet.
Yeah, that's pretty much what people have said. Chris, so you said Michael Dougherty.
Yeah, he did Krampus and Trick or Treat.
See, I love both those movies as hosts.
Krampus was great.
Krampus was funny, but the scene where they find the knife in the kitchen? In the other house, where they're finding the daughter? Just that one shot of the knife, that's when I realised this movie is far more horror than anything that's come out recently. It just hits the nail on the head with...
So, spoilers, obviously, but the scene
I haven't seen it. I have not seen it.
Okay,
Chris,
well, the scene...
How have you not seen it, man? Christmas is over.
Exactly. I don't care
And
for Christmas.
I was tweeting you. I swear to God, you said you were going to see it.
I was.
Anyways,
I was planning on seeing it, and I just didn't go.
anyways, the scene with the daughter. I'm not going to say
my
too
ears
much.
out. Hang on.
No,
Hang on.
Yes.
The scene with the daughter and when she's being stalked,
Yeah.
and you see it like running around, and you hear, dude, that was terrifying. That was the type of scene that I expected to kind of see in Jurassic World with like velociraptors or something. Like that was so well done. The tension that was in that scene, and it had so much vivid texture, and I don't know. It was a really, really well done scene, and then it had a lot of really funny comedy bits. I don't know. I liked it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no, it really was. It was a really good movie. And Trick or Treat.
I need to see that.
You haven't seen it?
I have not.
It's very similar. It's darker. It's a really cool, funny, like ridiculous movie.
This might be. I somehow missed that people liked the movie, and I remember seeing the cover, and it looked like one of those like direct-to-DVD sci-fi covers,
Yeah.
like Sci-Fi Channel covers. So I was like, I'll see this eventually. And I somehow missed that people liked the movie, so I never got around to it.
It's become a cult movie more than it was at the time. I think
now
because people
it's
realize,
it's not available anywhere. So like, I would have to like buy it in full price.
Oh
like
no,
$4
not buying a movie.
I don't like buying a movie. I don't
buy a movie.
I don't like buying movies I haven't seen at least once. I mean, I love buying movies. I have a huge collection of movies.
Is it not
but
on
I
Netflix on your?
No,
US
it
Netflix?
used to be, and they took it down.
You can find
And
it
that's
on
like-
Amazon for 99 cents. I'm sure.
Okay.
A used
Okay,
copy or something.
Yeah, that's true. Getting the DVD off eBay or something.
Yeah, I wonder how much it would be like digital on Amazon. I'll have to look.
Oh yeah.
See Trick or Treat is good. I think he'd be a good choice. I think Krampus was fun. I think he's going to be busy with Trick or Treat too, though.
True. I mean, but isn't he filming that this year?
No, because it just says announced, so I can't imagine. It says in active development, status pitch. That's IMDb, obviously, but
Okay.
I haven't heard that it's filming or anything soon. So, you also said Alex Garland, who directed Ex Machina,
Yes.
Oh.
which is a fantastic choice.
He's too good. He's too good for
I
a
just
sequel.
looked at his next movie is a biologist signs up for a dangerous secret expedition where the laws of nature don't apply. Right?
That sounds like Jurassic.
Right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does sound like Jurassic Park.
So depending on how that comes out, which is in pre-production now.
What's
which
the name of
means
it?
Annihilation.
Okay.
Annihilation. Yeah.
Annihilation.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I think it sounds pretty fun, and Ex Machina was
Pretty good.
fantastic.
J.J. Abrams.
No,
No,
here
no.
comes the truth of it. I still need to see Ex Machina.
So how did you recommend Alex Garland?
I
Why did he come? Have you not seen the movie?
I was
He's a
just
great
trying-
director.
I was basing it off of a lot of different variables. Like, I made that short list off of variables that kind of made sense to me. And it worked. My third suggestion, I haven't seen that movie either.
He wrote 28 Days Later.
Yeah, exactly. I know that he wrote that movie. I know
He
that
can
he
do
wrote
horror.
Ex Machina.
He can do good characters. He can do Ex Machina.
I've heard really great things about that movie, and I really enjoyed what I've seen from the trailers. And it's just been one of those movies I couldn't get anybody to go see it with me, and now I just need to rent it. I might rent that today.
Do it.
No, that's fair, man. I would. It's a great movie. Who else would be?
And then
good?
my third choice,
It's a pretty safe choice, yeah.
You can try pronouncing that name.
Balthasar Core.
Oh no, Everest sucked. The guy.
No!
I haven't seen Everest yet.
Everest.
But
Chris.
It was okay.
Everest sucked, man. Don't watch it.
But anyways, I mean, what I can say about Everest from the bits that I've seen is it.
That's
It is
fantastic.
very,
Chris.
very vivid.
Beautifully shot.
I mean, just
Yeah.
it's shot beautifully. It makes a character out of the environment. It makes the environment a danger for the people, and that I think that's something that a Jurassic Park movie would really, do well to explore, is making just the Earth itself a danger. Just even without the dinosaurs, just surviving in nature. I think that you can explore a lot of really cool ideas by
Do you guys
going
think
that route.
It could take like a Planet of the Apes approach where there's a disease.
It better not.
If Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes didn't happen, I would say yeah, but the problem is that would feel all too familiar at this point. And the books kind of explored that with DX. And, I saw early production materials from The Lost World, and they actually have DX, for the movie.
But could you imagine... I'm sorry.
Well, they had it for JP3 as well, I think.
Oh, really? So it's something that they explored fairly consistently, but I think at this point, it depends on how they did it. If they did it in a way that it was... what if they did a disease that didn't affect people, but it affected animals? So instead of people being wiped out, you had the natural ecosystem wiping out, maybe dinosaurs taking over the natural ecosystem.
I was thinking if you did, instead of something global, and since we're talking about Africa, everybody keeps leading to Africa. Very similar to what's going on with the Ebola virus. Obviously, it's not it is causing genocide, but a contained virus almost. Imagine, if you will, if there's a crater, something to do with the atmosphere where it keeps it kind of contained within a central or jungle part of Africa that, people were getting sick, and maybe wildlife too, but, a lot of times animals can't concoct human viruses. And so it kind of forces people out, but creates this natural habitat for the dinosaurs living in that area.
And that's also,
I like that.
that's an interesting idea. And I think that's a good way to start to have the dinosaurs kind of become part of the natural ecosystem and rooted in a way that you really just can't, if it's no longer isolated on an island, you can't just wipe them out or contain that,
Yeah.
But how do you
especially
get that many dinosaurs where it matters?
I guess if it was a human virus, I guess they really couldn't. I mean, if the dinosaurs didn't kill them, the virus would, and then that really wouldn't be a good movie. So,
Asees, to answer your question, how you get the many dinosaurs is you suggest that it happened years ago, and basically it was kind of contained and covered up.
That's a bitch slap to my face.
Just pretend that, say, hey, just like the Lost World, Site B, it existed, but nobody knew about it.
Didn't people have issue with that, though?
Well, I didn't have a huge issue with it. No, not necessarily. But, it's sort of the universe of Jurassic Park, is you're able to pretend that these islands can exist in secret. And it made sense back then, because it was before, cell phones with camera phones, and the internet was as widespread and easily accessible. Nowadays, you really couldn't have something like that, because as soon as somebody decides to go fishing off the coast of that island and sees something fucked up, they're going to take a picture, and it's going to end up online. But if you have a remote area of Africa, and I mean, Africa's a huge, huge place, so let's just say, I don't know, what region would you guys, what country
Congo.
Would you like to see?
I don't know.
Congo?
I'm just thinking dense jungle or...
Jungle's important for Jurassic Park.
Plains
I always
too.
just imagine the plains of Africa with Mount Kilimanjaro in the background, and dinosaurs roaming the plains, and I could just in very with the sun in the back, that very classic look for that Africa savanna. I that would just be really beautiful and really cool, and it would have that sense of just raw adventure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could buy that. Another location I could buy is probably something like Siberia. And before you say snow or anything like that, there are regions that it's just foresty and everything along those lines. But it would be remote enough that
wouldn't it be too cold for dinosaurs?
No, dinosaurs were probably warm-blooded.
Oh, okay.
Well, they were actually probably a combination of warm-blooded and cold-blooded. So they had a lot of traits like cold-blooded animals where they would use the sun to heat up. However, they had the capability to heat their own bodies like a warm-blooded animal. They were kind of their own thing. Most studies.
I thought dinosaurs were lizards. Oops.
Ha, ha, ha.
I'm fucking with you, don't worry.
But no, basically they were kind of between lizards and birds. They were something in between. They're their own thing. They led to the evolution of birds, but they weren't birds. Certain dinosaurs became birds.
Hey,
So, Chris.
go
on, Ryan.
Well, no, I mean, we're transitioning, but since we're talking about bird, lizards, weird things, I want, and we'll talk about it, that JP nasty toy, Hasbro, with the spikes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Good
let's talk
segue.
about the hybrid line. Let's talk. Yeah, Asees.
Yeah.
Sorry, but Ryan has better segues.
That's fair. That he can take my job. It's okay. I'll just sit back and relax.
Your one job.
I don't want your job. I don't want it.
Man, I can't freaking do segues.
Let's talk about that fantastic hybrid Hasbro Rex thing.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chris, because I don't want to talk about it.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, the Jurassic World toy line with Hasbro is continuing. It's not a really big change, but it's called Dino Hybrid, or is it Hybrid Dino? I think it's Dino Hybrid. That doesn't flow. That is such an awkward phrase.
Do you know what, as well, like Jurassic June, Nate made that really cool hybrid logo. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And all they've done is added big white text that says a hybrid, and the packaging is the same.
Okay, so
how boring.
Here's the deal.
How uncreative.
I think the reason why they're doing it that way is because it's not supposed to be its own line. It's supposed to be like a new, fresh wave of Jurassic World toys. So rather than being its own line, it's like a continuation of the Jurassic World toys. But considering the Jurassic World toys packaging was pretty uninspired, it's just frustrating. But the way that they even put that Dino Hybrid logo on there, it looks like some sort of like generic NASCAR spinoff. I don't know.
Oh yes, it's
okay.
And at the end of the day, all they've done is taken the original Rex that they made. They've added some really plastic-looking spikes. And they've coloured it with what looks like they've tried to add some hexagons on it.
Here's the thing, though. I actually like it. Here's the thing. I actually like it. It's way better than any of the Jurassic World toys they put out. It has a lot more detail with the paintwork, and it has a ton of features.
It's the same as the Ceratops.
I disagree.
And it's just one colour. I mean, you've got a bit of yellow green in there, but it's all one green. You can't say that there's effort in the paint job.
Oh, no, I disagree. I think that if it were a better mold, I don't think you would have these complaints. I think the problem is that its base toy sculpt was pretty bad. But here's the deal. When it comes to creating a new toy, I mean, so it's using a new body. However, they retooled it, and I think this is pretty cool. They added electronics. That's a first for Jurassic Park, taking a non-electronic dinosaur and retooling it to add electronics. They also added a spike reveal feature, and then it still has the chomping jaw mechanism. So you press the button, the spikes shoot out, it roars, and its jaw opens. And what's really cool is it's painted in green colors. It's got a gold overspray on the top, and then a yellow underbelly. So those are three colors. I want to say there's a fourth color using detail work. And then the head, I believe, uses three colors. Anyways, it's definitely painted more on par with the classic Jurassic Park toys as opposed to like the Jurassic World toys, where it's like basically one color and then one detail color, and it was very flat. This is using more expensive paints, especially because it's using like a metallic gold wash on the top, and you haven't seen that in like.
But if the mold sucks, who cares if it looks nice?
Yeah, the sculpt is awful. I mean, that's just the truth of it. That T-Rex sculpt is pretty bad, but again, when you look at that and you're realizing it's a retool of a toy that already existed, and the original was pretty bad, and this one actually improved upon it.
It might just be the quality of the picture that we have of it, but that picture of the box art with the T-Rex inside, the T-Rex is so green, and then the T-Rex that's on the box art is like brown.
Well, yeah, that's just that weird, goofy T-Rex box art that they did.
See, but come on,
but again, because think of it this way: it's series 2. This is Jurassic World Series 2. Instead of saying Series 2, it says Dino Hybrid. And
I wish
that
they'd
just
have
does
a
not flow
black
off the tongue.
series like Star Wars does.
Yeah, that would be nice. And maybe it's in the one of the consideration. I mean, we know that they considered it because we had that.
They considered a lot of things, my friend.
We had that leaked Toys R Us.
Saying the Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jurassic Park Classic Collection.
But I mean, once again, Jurassic fans have been disappointed.
Well, and part of it comes down to Hasbro. I mean, Hasbro disappointed the majority of their fandoms this year.
Yeah, they did.
Even the Star Wars toys were a huge step down. However, when you compare the Jurassic World toys, damn, I would have killed to have that care that the Star Wars, the Force Awakens toys.
I really, really, really love my Chris Pratt action figure from Jurassic World.
Where's
Oh
Pratt?
man,
I think
yeah.
it's fantastic, and it fits in the Mercedes Jeep that they
Where's
marketed
Owen?
so heavily.
Where's
Yeah.
It fits so well in there, and it plays really good with my badly painted Hasbro T-Rex.
Shit.
Said
Yeah, I
no one
don't-
ever, because
Yeah.
they failed with the.
There are
with
no
the merchandise.
humans. There are no. I cannot believe there aren't any action figures.
Or
especially-
vehicles. There's so
Yeah.
many vehicles in the movie. He's a motorbike. He has a
Yeah.
motorbike in the movie.
Yeah.
My God. My God.
Anyways, the hybrid toy range, though, for the new sculpts that are going to exist for it, like the Carnoraptor, I think the Carnoraptor is going to look good because it's a new sculpt. I can tell you, I've been following the Hasbro team on LinkedIn. Everyone at least the majority of the leads on the Jurassic World toys are no longer the leads as of when Hybrids was in development. It seems like they all left in about May, so that means sometime after Toy Fair. And I wonder if it was because, hey, you guys kind of forgot sickle claws on your velociraptors, your dinosaurs don't really look like dinosaurs, what happened here? So they were moved on to other projects, and there's a new team in charge, it seems like. Let's just hope that the team that's in charge now pays closer attention to what makes Jurassic Park toys successful.
Chris, why aren't you in charge yet?
Oh man,
Get over there, man. Take over. Make us some good toys.
no, Hasbro is a very difficult company. I mean, they're a very large corporate company, and that's the other issue. The new toys, the Jurassic World toy line, was created in Hasbro Los Angeles, and the past Jurassic Park toys, including the fan favorite 2013, like the Pachyrhinosaurus, Carnotaurus, Stegosaurus, and Allosaurus, those were made by the Rhode Island team. So
Let's get
it
them
was
back.
yeah, exactly. So that's why nobody even had reference of those pieces, because it's a completely different location, different area, different team, different overhead. So unfortunately, it just they had a team over in Rhode Island that understood Jurassic Park a lot more than the people in LA. However, LA was probably closer to the film production company, so it made sense. Let's just hope that, I think the preschooler toys were done fairly well. Maybe if that team was given an adult toy line, by adult, I mean like classic action figures.
Just make some higher quality ones where I'm willing to spend $50 on it because it looks badass. I'll do it.
Get rid of the screw holes on the
Yes.
dinosaurs and just sculpt decent base sculpts. I mean, some of the Jurassic World toys were decent, like the Pachycephalosaurus. It actually is 100. That sculpt is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Its paint job isn't, and the screw holes are awful, but its sculpt is fantastic. I mean, if you take that Pachycephalosaurus.
Wait, hang on. Is it just me? Or
You sound like you're on that other gas where you're Darth Vader.
Yeah, you sound really deep right now. Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You all sound
is
really
going
high.
on?
I hope everybody else can.
You
High
sound like
pitch.
Kylo Ren right
Yeah.
now.
Jack,
You
this
sound
thing's fucked.
This is
Jack,
weird.
say some cool Star Wars lines for
Like
us. Go.
Yeah, say something.
Sucked a balloon of helium and are now.
That's something Kylo Ren should have been saying. Holy shit.
I'll show you
Jack.
the dark side. Say that.
Jack, you sound like
Give me
this.
This is so weird. I can't tell
This
who's
is
talking now. You all sound the same.
Wow,
you all
your
sound
voice
really high
is so
pitched.
deep and strange sounding right now.
This is really strange.
Is what your real voice sounds like, Jack?
Can you imagine if this isn't just Skype and it's recording? That would be funny.
Yeah, it was.
You sound awesome. Man.
Oh,
Who was that, man? That's it.
So the title of this podcast is
sound like you're
Extreme
a
Technical
well,
Difficulties
this is
thanks
strange.
to Asees' premonitions.
But we might as well keep
apologize.
going.
Oh, Jack, I really wish you could hear what you sounded like right now.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do that.
Like, on the podcast, everything's gonna be okay. People are gonna think we're nuts.
Yeah, I
It's
wish you
okay.
could hear what you sounded like. You sound really high pitched.
Yeah, everybody's like, you're
You
all-
sound
really
so
strange.
deep right now. Like,
Oh,
well,
God.
Let's speak about the game situation if we have to.
Even that was hard.
Well, joke's on you. We are kids.
Okay.
How did a guy on Twitter, I forget his name right now. It's really cool. He works at Illumination Entertainment, which does Minions and Despicable Me and everything like that. But anyways, I guess he was browsing, was it ArtStation or something like that? And he saw some cool dinosaur renders and he linked me to them. He didn't realize they were attached to a Jurassic World game. But as soon as I saw them, I'm like, these are really, really high quality. And they're coming from a professional game artist. And he worked at, and I look and I'm like, he worked at Cryptic Studios, which was the place that we found out was working on a Jurassic World game. And it got canceled because they shut down that branch of the studio. So I was like, well, shit. and then I look at his tags, and literally one of the tags that he has for each piece of art is like Jurassic World. He tags them. I mean, he never labels them Jurassic World, but he tags them Jurassic World. And he goes, from a project that I unfortunately can't name, Winky Face, but I guess you can figure out what it was. I'm like, well, damn. Okay, Jurassic World game. There you have it. And then he links to a lot of his peers' art, and they basically all say the same thing. Like, here's an actor that was going to be in a game, and here's a demo reel from a game that we're working on. We can't name it, but you can probably figure it out. And you see Velociraptors running around and Chris Pratt running around, and you're like, well, okay. Obviously, this was the Jurassic World game that got canceled. Obviously, they're not allowed to name it, but they're allowed to share their work. So, what do? We run the story. They have these on public platforms. I mean, they're tweeting about it. They're sharing it on all these different social media sites. They're tagging it Jurassic World. Basically, these guys, they shared it on all these different platforms. They weren't hiding that it was a Jurassic World game. In fact, they basically were outright saying it without outright saying it, with like a lot of winky faces and nod and everything along those lines. So we covered it. We're like, hey, they all worked at Cryptic Studios. We know that Cryptic Studios is working on a Jurassic World game. Here's the art.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out we did nothing wrong.
We covered it.
The information was already out there. Someone was going to find it.
They tweeted it. They put it on all these different social media platforms, art sharing platforms. They were very much like, oh, well, we can't name the game, wink, wink, but you could probably guess.
Hashtag Jurassic World.
Nathan Lane, or whatever his name, I don't know. They did a recycling bin, and on the recycling bin, and had the Jurassic World logo. He posted that. Unfortunately, I don't have that saved on my computer, and I don't think it made it to any once they started taking down their art, that one got taken down, and I don't think it got archived.
Yeah, I didn't.
But however, he 100% posted that, and it was all over social media platforms. Sketchfab, where you can post your 3D models, where you can actually share the 3D model. It was one of the featured models, and he was perfectly fine with that. What happened was they got in trouble, and they weren't allowed to share the art, it turns out. You know the way they spun it? Well, Jack, why don't you tell them the way they spun it?
Yeah, I got a couple of lovely emails from Nathan. Really, really nice, accusing us of stealing artwork and releasing stuff that wasn't supposed to be released. Obviously, it was already public information. It was already online. We didn't take it from anywhere other than public domain websites.
Stuff that he was sharing and that he wanted people to see anyways.
He wanted people to see. And
he had it
as soon as we
all
picked up on it, and obviously we picked up on it, and then the rest of the internet picked up on it, because, we've never had a really, a Jurassic World game, Jurassic Park game in a long time, and this looked awesome. All the work that they were doing looked insane.
And in Perfect World, the studio that owns Cryptic Games, basically emailed him and said, you just pulled a big no-no. Like, they basically threatened him. They're like, get that art down. What the hell are you doing? You should have never shared that art. So the way Nathan spun it, it was on my private server, and they stole it. They hacked my server, and they stole the art and posted it online.
Such bullshit.
You're such a if you're listening, you piece of shit, you're a pussy-ass bitch. I'd fucking kick your ass.
Oh, no, I mean, I honestly... At first I felt bad for him, because they obviously made a mistake. They thought... Him and a lot of his peers thought they were allowed to share that work without naming it. So there must have been some sort of confusing clause in the contract. I notice that happens a lot of times with video games, where you can share art from canceled games if you don't outright name the project. And it seems like they were all under the assumption that they were allowed to do that. Apparently they weren't. I
I'm
felt
here.
bad.
I can
but
hear you. Can you hear me?
Did the call drop? Can anyone hear me?
No.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, but then he spun it basically to protect himself. He spun it in a way that he was threatening legal action against us because he really, really spun that narrative and kind of played all the cards to make it seem that way.
So
and
we took
ultimately,
let me
they
just point
filed
out,
a claim
after he
against our
contacted me,
YouTube channel,
he had a
saying
big
that
email.
we
It
did
was
that.
pretty aggressive, but it was
So,
please take this down.
with
you have no idea what you've done, all this crap. We did. We took everything down, and we deleted our video. We took the pictures down. We took everything down, and then he filed a YouTube complaint against us, or someone did, and that has, because of the way YouTube DMCA's work. If you get filed one, YouTube don't investigate it, they just sanction it, they just give it out. So it's restricted our YouTube channel, which means we can no longer have videos over 9 minutes. It also means that we can't have cover images on our videos until May of this year. So it really pissed us off at the end of last year, to say that we hadn't really done anything wrong.
We didn't do anything wrong. It just, they made a mistake, and to try to protect their careers, unfortunately, rather than owning up to the mistake, they lied. And while I really did feel bad for them, and I didn't want anybody to lose their jobs or get in trouble or not find jobs in the future, they should have found a better way to handle that, because the way they spun it is like, well, this fan site hacked our servers, stole the art, and posted it online.
Yeah, and it's a load of shit. And we didn't come out with this information. Obviously, we talk a lot on the podcast about this kind of thing, but yeah, this sucked. This sucked majorly, and this was unfair. And now it's restricted our YouTube, which is, we had some big plans for the YouTube. Which we're still going to do in the future, but it just brought everybody down. This was his mistake, their mistake, by posting it online. We just shared their information because that's what we do. We're a fan site, and people want to hear this news. And we want a video game. Everyone wants a video game. So we were almost saying, look how
either way, it doesn't matter. It's like, hey, check out this really cool work from a video game that almost happened, and they obviously weren't allowed to share it. And the publicity it got, the studio found out, and the studio was like, whoa, what the hell, guys? What are you doing? And they responded in a way that I honestly didn't expect. They lied. Rather than going, oops, our bad, they just spun it in a very different way.
I hope
and
they
now
never
it's
get
blasted
out
everywhere
again.
on the internet.
They're fucking
everywhere.
scum.
You type in Jurassic World game, and it's in images in the top.
What's really unfortunate is I never saved all the images because those were all online since about June, most of them. So I didn't think that there would be takedowns. I didn't think that they were going to remove them. I didn't think that anybody would be in trouble. I assumed that since so many artists shared their work, I was like, well, they're allowed to share it.
Sure.
And there were a lot of images and 3D models and pictures that just aren't archived, as far as I know. A lot of really cool things out there that just people will never see, that I got to see, but I didn't save. There's a bunch. I mean, like each dinosaur model, he had like multiple images of. I saved one of each.
Yeah. I have.
But like he on Sketchfab, he uploaded the entire 3D models as well as animation cycles, so you can see what the Suchomimus looked like when it was eating a person. You could see what it looked like when it was shot and it would like fall over and like roll. Like you saw for each of the dinosaurs, you saw what the Dilophosaur looked like when it attacked, when it was surprised, when it would spit. You'd watch its frill unfold. It was so cool, and we just didn't know how to. And we were working on saving those so that way people can. I mean, honestly, the computer running the 3D models was a little bit difficult, so we were trying to work on saving them in a video format so people could watch them without opening the 3D models. And at some point, they started getting taken down. And so that's how that went down.
I think what's most out of it, because we've dealt with this kind of thing before.
Yeah.
We've had people ask us to take this down. People said this to that, reported us, blah blah blah. Yeah,
it happens because people are protective of their stuff, but I think it's the hit on the YouTube which bothers me the most, because this whole deal is over now. The whole video game thing, it's over. It's months ago, but we have to wait until May until we can upload a podcast onto YouTube, and it's just like little things like that bother me, because it's restricted what we do for something that we didn't do wrong.
Yeah, and there's no easy channel for us to speak to YouTube and be like, hey, this is what happened. Can you guys...
absolute trash with things like this. The same as Skype, in the same kind of form, taken over by a big corporation and just ruined. They have no user interaction anymore.
So, I mean, hey, if you're listening to this and you work at YouTube, or you know somebody who does, and you have a channel for us to speak to somebody, tweet us or email us, because honestly, I mean, I realize that a lot of people have different jobs, and if there's ever any way that you can kind of help us put us in communication with the right people, it would be much appreciated. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, that's just the truth of it. It also just comes with news. If you guys see anything interesting, or if there's just concept art out there that people never seen, throw it our way.
Speaking of concept art, did anybody... What was that thing yesterday I saw about Indominus? Who posted that?
Bryce.
Yeah. Is that legit?
I can't tell, because I could tell that whoever sent him that art sent it to him over Instagram, because the cropping is Instagram's cropping. I mean, the art looks like a professional storyboard, except for, here's the thing. The storyboard says IREX. We know that it was the D-Rex for the majority of production, and the Malosaurus for the majority of the earlier production. Most of the storyboards that we've seen have always called it the D-Rex or the Malosaurus. I don't think I've seen a storyboard that says the IREX. And he said he heard it was a super early version of the script from the person that sent it to him. But the more I think about it, it can't be, because it says IREX. The Indominus Rex name didn't exist until sometime into filming, basically, as far as I know. So I don't know. I mean, it looks legitimate, but I'm not exactly sure that we have the real story behind it. My guess is somebody saw it on somebody's blog or something. They posted it probably too soon back in June, and then they took it down, and that person saved it and sent it to Bryce, and we probably don't have the full story because we don't have the blog post about it anymore. Because it seems like the artists weren't allowed to share their art until the Blu-ray was out, because we had takedowns on the art that artists shared on their blogs. And like, hey, turns out we weren't allowed to share this. Can you take it down? We took it down. Everybody was happy.
Yeah.
And then after the Blu-ray came out, I noticed more artists put up their art, and nobody seemed to care. So I'm guessing that was when the do not share embargo was for.
It was a cool concept too, if anybody didn't see it. I mean, just a simple idea of the T-Rex and Indominus battle being a little more gruesome than it actually was, and having I think his arm ripped off or torn off at the end right before the Brontosaurus grabs him. So
that would have I always pictured if the T-Rex got in a fight, I always pictured the T-Rex's arm getting bit off.
They're so teeny. Yeah,
I know, just like the little stump of the thing. I always just imagined that happening. So we've had some technical difficulties, and Asees had to leave. We're going to wrap this up. We've been having so many technical difficulties during this podcast. It's actually been very comical.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nightmare to edit.
Yeah, I think
Jack.
either my microphone has broken. It's going to be an absolute nightmare to edit, Chris. And I think my microphone is either broken or my computer just really needs to restart. But it was telling me the device has malfunctioned. Skype was quitting, Audacity was quitting, then the other recorders were quitting. Yeah, this has been real fun. I mean, we were having a great discussion.
It's been fun. Anyways, so
if anyone has any suggestions for alternatives to Skype, I would love to hear.
Yeah, if there's a tool for long distance podcasts that actually works, well, let us know.
Yeah,
because I mean,
seriously, like ever since Microsoft took over Skype, it has been, it takes about 3 hours to open, and I maintain my computer. I have a fast laptop, and Skype is the only application which fails all the time. It freezes, it cuts calls, it makes Chris sound like he's sucked a load of helium, it makes me sound like Kylo Ren. It's been fun.
Chronicle, anyways, they've got some really cool products coming up. They've teased a lot. They said they're going to do an Indominus Rex. They've talked about prop replicas as well, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll have Paul from Chronicle on the podcast in the near future, or we'll do an interview or something along the lines with him. So that's something to keep an eye on. I think there's a lot of exciting things coming from that direction, so keep an eye on our site for any more information. You can pre-order the male T-Rex 1/5 head on their website, chroniclecollectibles.com, I believe.
You should let us know if you do pre-order it, too.
Yeah,
I'd
man,
love to know if anybody orders one and then show us a reaction or an unboxing even.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's going to be a while before
they
get the product out there.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Chronicle said that when they put the T-Rex up for pre-order, it was like the highest amount of traffic they've had on their website at one time.
They should send us one just to do an unboxing, unveiling.
Hell, I'd even send it back if I had to. Just
touch it.
Like, let us do an unveil, and then you can have your product back. I mean, unfortunately, they're expensive. I mean, it's not like they get it for dirt cheap. It does cost money to make and ship, and they're bigger items, so that's where a lot of the money goes. So we should. All right, guys, before we wrap up, I just want to mention the Jurassic Park orchestra, the orchestrated version.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That is news that really excited me. I really hope that I get a chance to go see that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to tour. It's opening in November of this year, and it's basically you get to watch the movie. You get to go watch the movie and watch and listen to a live orchestra play music the entire time. So for the portions that there wasn't any music, they wrote new pieces, and John Williams is overseeing that. So in a way, it's like new John Williams music is coming out for Jurassic Park. So that's going to be incredibly exciting.
Hell yeah!
Check the website for news on that.
I think we should get Derek on to discuss this. The guy who did Jurassic Time. He's very invested in music and the Jurassic Park themes and everything.
Yes, exactly.
I think he'd be great one to discuss this. This news has probably made him go crazy. This is fantastic.
Actually, I haven't heard from him in a little bit.
Because the potential to see John Williams themes that were never used in the final cut of Jurassic Park is something that might come up.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is great. And if anyone's planning on going to that, getting tickets for it, send in your email, send in a tweet. Send something in.
I know once they announce the venue, I'll be there.
Sweet.
Hell yeah, man! I'm gonna try. We should all go together. And we won't podcast.
We should all go to Australia together to the Jurassic World exhibition. That's what we forgot to talk about.
Yeah, we'll do that on another podcast. I gotta fix this mic. I don't know what's going on. Welcome back, 2016 first podcast went really well. Ryan, thank you for joining us. Chris, thank you.
Anytime.
Asees, farewell, my friend.
We've lost Asees.
Yeah, he'll return.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys.
Yeah, farewell.
It's been a pleasure.
And thank you for listening to the JurassicWorld.org podcast. More soon.
Yep.
Catch you later.
This summer. Coming this summer.